Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today on Thursday, June 14th, 2018? We're coming close to midway through June.
It's almost over. It's always almost over.
I know.
Every time.
I feel like we're saying that
never over.
every time. Yeah.
Well, it's halfway through, and today's weather not as nice as yesterday, so it feels like we went backwards.
Yes, this is true.
You know what I mean? But
also, we're halfway through the year as well. This is a 6 months in.
Ooh, drama.
Yeah.
It's over.
How do you feel? Have you stuck with your resolutions, ladies and gentlemen? Have you?
I can tell by looking at you right now.
Have you quit smoking? Have you stuck to it? Have you quit drinking?
You going to the gym?
Are you going to the gym?
You
still?
eating right?
Are you still doing it?
What are you doing? Looking right at you, Big Daddy.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into another episode of Talking Trends. We really do appreciate your time and efforts to join us each and every day or whenever you can. If this is your first time tuning into our show, myself and Tony find interesting news articles from across the globe, and we bring them to the comforts of your home or wherever you may be listening to this show. Yeah. And unlike a lot of podcasts, ladies and gentlemen, this is done live. So everybody in the chat, we encourage you to participate in the stories that we're going to be talking about with your comments and opinions. And you know what? You'll make the show, and then when we upload it to Google Play, iHeartRadio, iTunes, everybody will hear your lovely opinions and comments and think you're a really smart person.
You are a smart person.
You are a smart person.
But it doesn't make you look smart.
Exactly.
You don't look that way.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in audio-wise. If you like the show, please subscribe to the show and give us a little rating. We really do appreciate it. And if you ever want to check out the show, just go to facebook.com/WeTalkingTrends.
That's a good place to go. Yeah. It's where all the cool kids are hanging out.
I tell you.
As they say.
Up first, we're going to be talking about these stories, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. We're talking about, Parents of the Year.
Putting down some punishments, but a learning process for their children.
This story from Quebec, this parent punished their child by making them stay 13 hours at the dinner table.
Yeah, maybe not the best move.
I don't agree with it.
And may or may not be facing legal action as a result.
Oh, wow.
So we'll talk about that.
Coming from our favorite state, Florida.
Yeah.
Currently running. I don't know what's going on in Florida, but I don't know.
Listen, I don't know you got these stories coming out of Florida. It's over. You guys can do no right. Yeah, apparently.
And the guy pictured here, ladies and gentlemen, he was robbing a Walmart, and to get away, he tried to carjack not one, but two cars, ladies and gentlemen. And in doing so, he was held up twice.
In a row
by the by the occupants of the car.
Listen, he didn't quit. He tried the first car, didn't work out. Tried the second car, didn't work out. Sometimes when you try to carjack, it's third time's the charm. Exactly. Should have kept going, buddy.
Drake's dad has some interesting opinions on the whole Me Too movement.
Oh, he's not afraid to say what's on his mind.
No,
we're gonna tell you what is on his mind.
It is. It's quite it's an interesting thought.
Listen, it's short and profound.
Yes.
It says it all.
And finally, coinciding with the Me Too movement, Netflix has hopped on board because, as you remember, ladies and gentlemen, they were at the forefront of the Me Too movement after the Kevin Spacey incident came out. Of course, Kevin Spacey was the star of House of Cards. And now, as a result, they have implemented some new training procedures.
You got to hear these rules, people. You'll think it's not real.
You honestly will think this is not real.
It is not a joke.
Like the Onion made it up, but this is actually real,
it's
apparently.
Real deal.
So,
Sheldon asked right quick, how do I subscribe? YouTube and Facebook.
Go to YouTube.
Go to YouTube.com
and then put in Talking Trends Halifax. Just put Talking Trends Halifax.
Boom.
We haven't got the official URL yet, but that's coming, okay?
There you go.
We have to get a certain amount of subscribers to get that.
That's how it's done, son.
But yeah, thank you if you take the time to go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. Much appreciated. Tell your friends, tell everybody. Anyway.
Tell everybody.
And usually before we start the show off, we like to wish more life and happy birthdays to our friends, family, people we don't know, and most importantly, our celebrity friends.
Yeah.
And today, we have some interesting birthdays.
The man you love to hate.
Mr. Donald J. Trump.
President Donald J. Trump.
Ooh,
turning 70 deuce today.
Jeez.
He looks 90 deuce.
Yeah.
He does not age well.
No.
He looks bad.
He looks horrible.
But it's his birthday.
Happy birthday to Boy George.
He looks better.
Yes.
57.
And finally, happy birthday to one Faison Love.
Star of many movies. One of my favorites, Friday.
Hey.
Yeah, big worm in that movie.
Yep.
I love him. 50 years old, and he's looking all right.
There we
at
go.
50.
And anybody out there celebrating a birthday, we wish you from the bottom of our hearts.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, we love you guys.
Up first, Tony's going to talk about some Brussels sprouts.
One of my favorite veggies, by the way, because they're super delicious.
They are. And
super good for you.
Yes.
And they're good. But, some kids don't like Brussels sprouts. Some kids don't like the veggies. You can punish them. You can make them eat. You can make them eat them all. But you might not want to take 13 hours to do so. Quebec man was sentenced to 4 months in the community after forcing his 8-year-old daughter to sit at a dinner table for 13 hours over uneaten Brussels sprouts.
Or some damn Brussels sprouts. One of the cheapest vegetables.
I mean,
you're going to make your child sit 13 hours.
13 hours, bro? Come on.
Yeah.
In a case described by the judge as aberrant and disturbing, the court heard both sides. I don't know both sides would be in this situation, but they heard both sides dug in their heels over the vegetables. That happened back in January. The daughter was not permitted to go to the bathroom as the standoff continued, or change her clothes after she'd soiled herself.
Wow.
So that's pretty bad. The father described the girls as the father described the girl as shivering and suffering from hypothermia. This guy is quite the father.
Wow.
Speaking of fathers, coming up on Father's Day, this guy takes the cake for Father's Day. The court heard she eventually agreed to eat what was left on her plate after a sleepless night, only to vomit right afterwards.
Well, they're probably cold and God knows what else.
According to the judgment handed down in January, the judge only then did the 42-year-old father from Western Quebec allowed the girl to have a shower and go to sleep. The judgment noted the father was not named to protect the girl's identity. Facing 4 charges, he eventually pleaded guilty to 1 account of unlawful confinement and was sentenced to 4 months to be served in the community. He also had to pay a $500 charitable donation and perform community service. Quote, the judge said, "What holds true for a 6-month-old baby is also true for an 8-year-old. We do not confine an 8-year-old child to the table for 13 hours, simply said by the judge.
You don't confine anybody to a table for
anybody for that matter.
hours.
Yeah, for sure. You do not deprive a child of sleep for an entire night or forbid them from going to the bathroom. And we do not let an 8-year-old child sit in soiled clothing. When we do so, we violate their integrity and dignity." So,
wow.
It was all the way up to 11 p.m. when the girl's older sister, age 10, went to bed. It was emotional blackmail mixed with haggling, the father wrote.
Wow.
Anyway, this is really disturbing. I can't even imagine this scenario going down. Where's the mother, number one?
Right.
And loosen up, Pops.
This is a little too much. I was writing down some notes, ladies and gentlemen.
I like when you do that.
Saw me jotting some ideas
Very
and
sexy.
thoughts down.
Yeah.
And they are as follows. 4 months? Do you think that's a little light? Just of community service, ladies and gentlemen?
It seems a little bit on the light side.
I think that's a little light, personally, for making your child sit at the dinner table for 13 hours, roughly, under cold conditions, making them sit there in soiled pants and clothing.
Yeah.
I think that's a little excessive, and I think the punishment, is it doesn't fit the crime.
I'd say, I think you're right. I think that 4 months community service or whatever he served is not good. Where's child services?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. I mean, how come they're not stepping in this scenario?
And another thing I would warrant for in this story is you want the child is 8 years old, right?
8 years old.
So you would think, old enough to just go to the bathroom. But my mind started going, working, and the monkeys in my head just started cranking out some juices.
Right.
And it made me wonder, like, she was probably scared to
Yes.
go to the bathroom.
Yep. I would assume.
And I'm thinking she's probably scared because this is probably not the first time this person has took abuse out on his. I'm assuming both kids, not just one,
Yeah.
but both of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't assume it's a one-off. He
Clearly
probably has
not.
a habit of this.
That's extreme. This is an extreme one-off for making them sit at the dinner table for 13 hours.
Yeah.
That's something you don't do for your first time.
Yeah, and maybe like you said, maybe they were so scared that, if they did get up or knowing they would break the rules or get away from the table, there may be something worse that they've experienced. Maybe they've been physically, punished or whatever the
Exactly.
case may be. So the fear was obviously very real in this situation.
Yeah.
Enough where they didn't move even when they had to really pee. They did it in their own, clothes and then sat there through the whole procedure. 13 hours. That's a long ass time.
Listen,
That's
I
a
can't
long time.
I can't even lay down in bed for 13 hours before I'm getting sore.
Exactly.
And I can't imagine being, held against your will. Yeah, this is just, I don't think the 4 months is honestly enough. And again, as you said, where is child services when it comes to this?
I don't think it's too extreme to remove this child from the home.
What?
I don't think that's an extreme call.
Poopy pants?
What?
Poopy pants for 13 hours?
You got to go, Pops.
Cold, what was it? Cold conditions? I'm just going to say cold conditions.
Sure, let's make shit up.
Yeah. Well, she said she was,
It was
freezing.
outside.
For all, she was freezing, right?
She
Or-
was shivering. Yeah,
Shivering.
I don't know what exactly the house circumstances were.
Right,
but
yeah. Is it dilapidated? What kind of? How is this person? I have so many other questions now coming to my mind. But
Yeah.
I think the bottom line is I don't believe the punishment fits this crime. So I hope they reevaluate somehow.
Yeah, like you said, I'd like to see. I mean, we don't know if the mother is even part of the picture. We don't know that.
Yeah.
I would hope that something would have been done if she was. But in this scenario, I don't know how he keeps this child. I just don't know. Because that's just, for me, that's like torture.
Yeah, and I hope again, child services or somebody looks into the past. Because I just can't see this being the first time.
No. And the fact is he got off because he pled guilty to one of the 4 accounts.
Right.
Right? He pled guilty to just one of them. So, I mean, that's how you, I guess, escape losing your children. And maybe that's what his lawyer kind of, recommended, basically.
Goddamn.
Karen said it's cruel and uncalled for.
Yeah.
Eric says, and people wonder why kids shoot up movie theaters and schools. That kid's going to be scared for life. Scarred for life.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, myself and Tony have covered stories where parents, have taken more productive manners of punishment
Yes.
towards their kids if they're not doing something. I mean, we spoke about a lady from Newfoundland who punished her daughter by just cleaning out her room and leaving her nothing but her clothes and, just the necessities of what she needs to carry on for the day because her daughter was being a bully to another kid at school. So we felt that was right. That was nothing too harsh. Wasn't making them stay in their room for a crazy amount of hours or at the dinner table for a crazy amount of
It was
hours.
reasonable.
And there's another story where, again, another father made his son jog to school because he was also bullying another kid.
Yeah.
And I felt like that's good parenting. This is not tough love, what this guy has done. This is just abuse.
This is just cruelty, and whether his childhood has whatever kind of cruelty in the past, sometimes it's a thing where you carry it on.
Exactly.
I don't know, dude. Listen, give up your child. Do us all a favor.
Yeah.
Why don't you sit in your own pee
Yeah.
for 13 motherfucking hours
See how that feels.
and eat your Brussels sprouts?
Exactly.
How about that?
You piece of shit.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day, motherfucker.
Yeah. You bastard.
Sorry.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, from the good old state of Florida. Let's give it up for them already. They've supplied 80% of our show.
If we do an award show, that's going to be like the state of the year.
Florida, of course. Yeah, it holds a special place in my
The
heart.
Sunshine State.
Suspected Walmart robber, pictured here, tries to carjack 2 different cars. But both drivers, ladies and gentlemen, pull out some guns. So police say a man who tried to carjack 2 people was thwarted after victims both pulled out guns to protect themselves. Jacksonville police officers arrested 36-year-old Christopher Raymond Hill, charging him with strong arm robbery, carjacking with a firearm or deadly weapon, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, and trespassing.
Jesus.
That's a mouthful of charges.
That's a lot of charges, man.
Detectives said the incident began when Hill robbed a Walmart liquor store and attempted to flee in a silver Ford SUV. However, witnesses said the vehicle would not start, so he tried to carjack Scott Reardon at knife point, cutting him on his arms and legs. "Quote unquote, I reached in between my glove box and my console between my seats, reached down and got my weapon and brandished it for him," Reardon told WJXT, some news station in Florida.
Right.
He was like, "Don't shoot me." I was like, "Then get out of here." Hill then jumped into the passenger seat of a woman's car in the Starbucks drive-thru. Police said the woman got out of her car, grabbed the pistol from her trunk, and pointed it at Hill until he ran off.
Man, don't carjack people in freaking Florida, man.
No.
They get your ass.
So Reardon said he was glad to have had his gun with him for self-defense. Quote unquote, he says, "These guys can talk about banning assault rifles and banning guns, but when it comes and happens to them, they're going to wish they had one," Reardon told the station. Ultimately, police found Hill inside the bathroom of Supercuts. Not sure what Supercuts is, like a haircut place.
Yeah, it's a haircut place.
Okay.
Yeah. Supercuts.
where he ultimately surrendered. According to a arrest report, Hill told police the reason why I was running and did this was because someone was after me.
Oh my God.
So anyway,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen, if you want to bail this fine person of society out of jail, it will cost you $91,000.
Really? That much?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
They're so lenient on everything else. Why wouldn't bail be any different?
I'm surprised this didn't give him community service like the last person.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I have some, this is the only time so far, I think, this year that we've covered where guns were proven in favor for the victims.
Definitely the only time.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it gives a case to the gun-toting.
This doesn't help, the whole case of people, kind of relaxing on in gun laws.
Well, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't outweigh the other side of the argument.
No.
You know what I mean? Like people dying in shoot-ups and these school shootings and whatnot. So it doesn't even come close. But, one of those things, man. Like, I mean, you're kind of like, oh, shit, good. He got the worst of it.
Yeah.
He's the criminal and he got it. The citizens stood up for their own rights. But... what if somebody took a shot and someone who was a bystander gets shot? Then
Right.
it's all for nothing. So I mean,
Still a lot of variables that could have happened.
there is.
Could have been a trigger-happy person that he tried to carjack, and exactly, could have hit an innocent bystander.
So that's if the victim would have shot the robber, I guess it's self-defense.
I would assume.
They'd be okay.
I would assume.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? Well, yeah, the legal system. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it depends on who you are.
Yeah,
and how much
Walmart
money you
will
have.
get charged somehow. With,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not providing security or some shit.
So, I mean, if you're going to think about carjacking, ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't recommend doing it in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
There's a lot of things you shouldn't do in Florida.
Maybe just hot wire a car.
Well, we don't recommend.
We don't recommend, but I mean, I don't want you hurting anybody.
No.
So get a car that's vacant.
Yes.
And then proceed to hotwire.
Proceed to break into that vehicle. And, hot wire. Innocent. It's a victimless crime.
Right.
You got insurance.
Exactly. It's cool.
Well, that's the other thing, too. These guys pull out guns to defend themselves. Man, over a car? You got insurance.
Yeah, this is true.
You worth getting shot over your car? I don't know about
Yeah,
that.
is it worth the life, possibly?
Yeah, whether you have a gun or not, like, I don't want to be in a showdown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'd be like, listen, I'll call the authorities.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, I just got carjacked. He's headed in so-and-so direction.
I'd be like, here's the keys. Yeah, the station, this is pre-programmed for these stations. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
I'm going to call the police. Go have a nice day.
Yeah.
I'll see you at Supercuts. I don't know. Like, I mean, give it up. I don't know. Anyway, but Florida never ceases to amaze us.
No.
And it's a Wild Wild West down there.
Yes.
Speaking of the Wild Wild West, let's see who's in the roll call here.
Yes.
Vincent was the first one to join us today. The Golden Knight. He may have left us, but he was here first. Karen's in the house. Jonathan Cromwell, always in the house. Charlie, Sheldon, Kathy, CJ, Eric is in the house as well. We have Josh. We have Caleb, my man in the house. Cassandra, Waddell, Janelle, Mary, and Christina. Thank you guys for joining us today.
This is me waving at you guys.
That is a fabulous wave he's got there. That's that. I'm in a parade.
Yes.
And I just married the prince.
Wait, I married the prince?
Why not?
Oh, okay.
Oh, he's the dude.
Why do I have to marry him? Why can't I marry the princess?
She wasn't a princess until she married him.
I thought you were talking about me.
No.
Whatever.
I'm comparing your wave.
I'd still marry the prince. I don't care.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. Speaking of men in general, that's a horrible segue.
And fucking things up.
Drake's dad in the news.
Old school daddy.
Old school daddy.
He is laying down the motherfucking law.
Daddy Graham. Shadow Daddy Graham.
He don't care what you think.
No.
Yeah.
This is very interesting.
Yeah. He was recently caught by TMZ, and they asked him a little bit about the Me Too movement and his advice. Basically talking about what just came out against Jamie Foxx with the whole penis slapping incident. If you didn't hear about that, you should watch yesterday's show.
Yes.
And he had a little something to say about the whole scenario. Here's what he said.
Jamie Foxx is being accused of slapping a woman with his penis 16 years ago.
No.
I was kind of wondering what you make of like an accusation like that, 16 years after the fact. What you make of, slapping a person. I don't really know,
Jamie is my brother, and I really can't comment on what happened 16 years ago. But there is something that I want to say to these young ladies that allow themselves to go and be with a man in their rooms or whatever. Stop going to the hotels. Same with Bill Cosby. Stop going to their rooms. You don't have to be in their room. Take your ass home.
So it's like, are there the two sides to blame, or is it?
No, there's not two sides to blame. You take your ass home. Don't go into a man's room. Don't go where a man is, where you might think a man is going to have anything to do with raping you or anything else. Take your ass home.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know what else you could really say about that situation. So yeah, I don't know. He says that he thinks the hashtag Me Too movement wouldn't be necessary if women avoided putting themselves into potentially dangerous situations. So that's what he suggested. Just don't go to their rooms. Of course, if you guys don't know, that's Drake's father, of course. And he simply says, don't go to their rooms. Dennis, who was slurring a little bit, of course, he seemed like he had a couple of drinks, which is okay.
Had a couple Bill Cosbys in him.
Well, sometimes that's a truth serum. Quoting saying, take your ass home. Don't go into a man's room. What do you guys think about this situation? I mean, we have so many cases of these situations that always seem to happen in someone's hotel. It's after the party. It's after the club. It's whatever. I mean, not that we were talking about this before. It doesn't justify, and you shouldn't assume that a lady or a male is willing to do whatever you want to do. But if you don't go to the room, maybe you kind of avoid that whole situation. I don't know. He's an old school train of thought. He is. And he's old school daddy for sure.
Yeah. He likes it missionary.
He enjoys missionary. Or he may be too old for that. He may like to lay down and just, you jump on the pony. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. That
but
seems a little more
we're off track
school.
now, of course, again. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think of this situation? What do you guys think of this situation?
I kind of agree in a certain percent because, I mean, you're just literally taking out that part of the equation. Saying, what? You had a good time at the club or at the show or have you, whatever, and now there's just no reason for anything else to happen and anything to continue forward. You're not violated. You're not forced to do anything that you don't want to do. So, I mean, hang out with all your friends and the celebrity and whoever you're seeing. But then, just don't go back to the hotel room. You know already. I mean, it's what generally happens. It's not,
Careful. Easy.
Ladies and gentlemen, come on. It's no surprise.
It's a very slippery slope. No pun intended.
There's no surprise what happens after the show at hotel rooms with most artists and rappers and musicians, et cetera, et cetera. Unless here's the only thing I think that can agree.
Okay.
There has to be a mutual agreement between two parties via text
In writing.
It has to be there, right? So everybody is in the know. And I mean, of course, sometimes alcohol plays a part, and you're not going through all the checklist of like, did I get consent? Did I? Well,
Yeah, the checklist. Yeah,
right. But I mean,
it becomes very tricky.
it's a very tricky thing. I'm not saying he's 100% right, but
He ain't 100% wrong.
he's not 100% wrong. And I think anybody, either sex, if a guy was going to a female's hotel room, just don't go.
Kathy says, listen to your gut feeling as well. Yeah, I mean, you have a vibe of the night. If you're hanging with somebody, things are kind of clicking, and things that you've been flirting, maybe a little touching, maybe a little whatever. Things are leading into a certain direction, and then at the end of the night, it's 3:30 in the morning, and you guys are heading up to his or her hotel room. Yeah, you're not going up there to watch fucking Looney Tunes.
You're not?
Right? So
That's kind of what I do.
But if you have an inkling that you don't want to get into the scenario where the next step needs to happen, then maybe don't go up to the room.
Yeah.
Maybe don't go and be alone with this person somewhere.
And that's another thing. Yeah. If you're unsure, I mean, because there's some people there that's naive out there, and they think that nothing is going to happen. But then some people have this. This is,
Dude, you gotta be pretty fucking naive.
But there's people out there.
I guess.
Trust me, there's people out there where it's like, I just want to go up. We hung out in the hotel room and we did nothing. But like, at the same time, this other person's like, well, I was hoping to get my dick sucked.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm not dismissing a situation where like Bill Cosby was like drugging people.
No.
Or people that, men that rape women. That's a different scenario. If you actually were there and you tried to get out of the scenario and you were forced to do something, that's a whole different, situation.
Right.
But again, if you weren't in the room in the first place, it may not happen, but you wouldn't know that someone would flip on you like that and become violent. And so that's a whole different scenario.
And that's another thing, is it's like, how well do you know this person? And again, that was another piece of advice I was going to say, is it's like, you know what? If there's a chance of you seeing them or like, again, and building some sort of relationship with this person, maybe do that first before getting into a unpredictable situation that you may regret later.
His advice is almost it's too simple to be right. And it's just right.
Yeah.
It just is. Like it's a gut feel. And not only in this in any circumstance, you trust your gut.
Yep.
If you go into a situation that you don't feel is going to be good, then maybe not go into that situation. You know what I mean? You avoid going to the after party. Why? Because the after party can get fucked up. Right? You know you're going to be out to 4:30 in the morning.
I've stopped going as soon as my nights are done.
Because you know what's going to happen.
My ass goes to bed.
See? You know.
I read a book now. Just because I know.
Exactly. You know that, and you just don't. You're not there.
Usually nothing good happens after like 2 or 3:30.
No. For me, all the good things happen. No. But I'm just saying, like, I mean, his advice is old school, and it may almost seem like, a little outdated.
And one-sided.
And maybe one-sided, maybe too simple, but sometimes keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
It's just, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. I don't
think he's placing blame. And I'm not placing blame on, on the females. It's just, just use your noggin, before making a decision that could, ultimately affect your life later on.
Well, Cromwell agrees with you, man. He says, I'm with TK.
Hey.
Karen says, not me. I got to party hard. Karen agrees with me. See? It all works out, Karen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It just seems...
and don't get me wrong. Sorry to cut you off.
You're about the party.
I'm nothing wrong with the party. But I mean, if there's a group of people, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But then again, when it gets down to the one-on-one, then that's where the gray area comes.
Becomes tricky.
Yeah.
Becomes tricky. Yeah. Just be careful. Be careful, people.
Yeah, just be careful, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, have your friends around too. Just, do a little poll. if you have like 3 friends with you.
I'll do a poll, all right.
No.
Hot Q says he's KO'd after his sets. So, yeah, he's kind of like you. You're tired, you're done.
It's not even that. It's just like, I mean, a bit like, I've just done so many. Me personally, I would rather hang out with like my friends that I do the show with instead of entertaining
and do
like other relationships that could, possibly go in another direction or may not. And again, a lot of mixed signals. It's
a good point. I agree.
Just, it makes a weird, sticky situation.
Eric says, so Jamie Foxx was doing helicopters and someone got hit. Something like that. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Cassandra says, depends on who you're with and what the vibe is like.
And that's what I mean. You have to know if you know the person, you have a repertoire with them. Again, it's totally different. Yeah. And I mean, if you guys have been chatting for a while and again, you have a relationship, I mean, totally different situation. But I mean, if it's a one night stand and you're meeting this person for the first time, again, weigh your options before diving into something you may regret later. Male and female. I'm not saying just the ladies, the guys too.
It's a two-way street.
Two-way street. Yeah.
All right. Enough of that.
Yeah.
Speaking of Me Too.
Is it actually enough? Because it's
never over. It's Me Too Thursdays here.
Yeah. Our next story is, man, this is interesting. Ladies and gentlemen.
This is a great story. I think it's fucking incredible.
Get comfy for a second.
Settle in for this one.
Sit back in your seat and, let your,
Make sure there's nothing underneath the jaw. It's about to drop.
Yeah.
And it may hit you in the crotch.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Netflix film crews are banned from looking at each other for longer than 5 seconds in the Me Too crackdown.
Don't do it.
May I repeat that? Netflix film crews are banned from looking at each other for longer than 5 seconds in the Me Too crackdown. This is where we're at, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Netflix has introduced a new anti-harassment training in the wake of the Me Too movement that rocked Hollywood and seriously disrupted their production on its House of Cards show. New rules imposed on set reportedly included no looking at anyone for longer than 5 seconds.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
You gotta move.
You can't look.
No lingering hugs. So.
Oh, it's over.
I don't know what constitutes as a.
That's too long.
Okay, it's probably too long. Okay.
It's way too long.
No flirting, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
God damn.
There goes our fucking relationship.
Man.
Jesus.
And ultimately, no asking for a colleague's phone number.
Well, what if it's work related?
Exactly. What if we want to hey, maybe you should shoot the scene like this, or is the script right? Nope. Am I reading this correctly? Can we meet up at for a coffee and talk about?
How dare you ask for my number?
Yeah, I'm feeling a little harassed, sir.
I'm feeling super harassed.
See you in court.
I'll see you on Twitter, motherfucker.
Everyone spoke to about the Me Too, and on set, Runner currently working on. I guess it was on the Black Mirror set as well.
Okay.
Senior staff went to a harassment meeting and to learn what is and what isn't appropriate. I can't believe these are meetings. And they probably flew somebody in or they hired somebody to be
Can
like.
we get that job?
Oh my God. Like, I just can't picture the money that is being spent on telling grown adults what is and what is not sexually appropriate at a workplace.
Well, Sally says high fives only.
I'm down with that.
Gonna be the new rule.
I'm perfectly down.
Rachel
with that.
doesn't even believe it. She says, "Shut up, this is crazy."
So again, the senior staff went into a harassment meeting and to learn what is and what isn't appropriate. Looking at anyone longer than 5 seconds is considered creepy. I'm looking at you. Do you find it creepy?
We'd be laughing if we were just staring more than 5 seconds. Really, 5 seconds? Maybe it's a long time. Let me see.
Hold on.
Well, I got it's a little creepy.
Okay.
You got the
main cam's on now.
That's a little creepy.
How do you feel?
How do
you feel, ladies and
I
gentlemen?
need a cigarette.
Yeah.
No.
So anyway, it sparks jokes, clearly. I mean, as we're joking about it, with people looking at each other, counting the 5, and then diverting their eyes, as we just did at the beginning of the story.
Like, you've got to count. You got to count during your stares. You got to do it.
It's unbelievable. Netflix declined to confirm or deny the report. But the Independent in a statement said, we're proud of the anti-harassment training we offer to our productions. We want every Netflix production to be safe and respectful working environment. We believe the resources we offer empower people on our sets to speak up and should not be trivialized.
Sally says, how come no women? I'm loving Sally right now. How come no women haven't been caught harassing men yet?
I mean, there's been a couple of those stories where, remember Mariah Carey, the bouncer, where her bodyguard tried to come out and say some stuff.
Mariah Carey's like a freak.
It's been minor stories that have been buried because I don't know. They're just not as interesting, I think, as from the media. And yeah, I don't know. When it comes to guys, it's kind of weird. It's just it's kind of jokingly like,
dude,
you know, a guy can get raped. Like, oh, you got raped by a girl, and it's just a big joke. And I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's happened out there, and people have gotten laughed out of the building.
Listen, you're working at Netflix, all right? You're among the staff at Netflix. No, it's too close. And a girl goes to a superior and says, "Listen, this dude was staring at me for more than 5 seconds. I want to put in a claim. I want to file a report."
Can you imagine?
Okay, that guy's gone. He's history for sure. A guy goes to the superior and says the same thing. This girl been looking at
my biscuits for 5 seconds.
And the guy would be like, or the superior, whoever it may be,
Get left out of the room.
They'd be like, "Yo,
man up." Yeah, man up.
Like, that's gonna go down. Or the guy doesn't bother go say it because he's embarrassed as hell.
And that's another thing.
So I mean, I don't know. You can't win in this scenario.
I think it's a ridiculous scenario. It's sad that we have come to this point. Again, ladies and gentlemen, It's 2018.
Yeah.
Have any of us grown up yet? Clearly not.
Apparently not.
Don't know how to act in workplaces appropriately or inappropriately. I mean, there's a time and place for long, lingering hugs, more than 5-second stare downs.
It's in hotel rooms at 4 a.m. That's where that shit belongs.
That's where that stuff goes.
Not in the workplace. Cassandra says, I agree. Why is it only men? That's BS.
It's interesting double standard. What's going on?
I mean, the double standards the other way around as well. But I mean, I don't know. It's just those rules are fucking ridiculous. First of all,
just even that somebody came up with that,
the staring thing alone,
and implemented that. And they clearly had to take time out of their day to go to this meeting.
Yeah,
I couldn't imagine the snickers, the laughs, as soon as somebody was like, "And ladies and gentlemen, no looking at each other for more than 5 seconds." What happens? Here's another thing: the actors and actresses on set. I mean, for their scene, what happens if it's an intense staring scene? Do they have to cut it off after 5 seconds?
Yes, you can't do it. No more of those intense.
If there's a sex scene, they're not allowed to look at each other passionately. They have to.
How right now in this day and age? How are you even going to have a sex scene? You can't even touch.
It's going back to old Blue Nuit, where they didn't show any nudity. Well, I think they showed some boobs.
No, I remember Blue Nuit.
Yeah. Oh, let me tell you about it. Was February 1989.
February 13.
12:37.
It was Valentine's.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Sally says, I'm purposely taking the light off of men. Time for women to start having the fun.
Hey.
That's not very good. But yes, in essence, yes, that's what's exactly going to happen. I'd have a blast at work if I could look for the 7 seconds, pending all the rules.
Go ahead, guys.
Yeah.
Soak it all in.
Yeah. Oh, Sally says, I got to look away now. She's looking for 5 seconds. Yeah, you can't even watch the show.
Soak it all in.
I feel harassed.
Yeah.
I feel super harassed. And I like it.
It's weird. I mean, I don't know. Do I complain about the people pinching my butt at the jam and bumper grind all my other nights?
Well, you kind of did.
Yeah.
You complained to me about it. And it was me doing it. No, I'm just saying. But that's a super harassment.
Yeah.
That's happened to you.
And what happens when I talk about it?
People laugh.
It's funny. It's a funny story. Man. It's a hilarious story.
I mean, yeah.
It's like, oh, TK has a tiny butt. Let's touch it.
Imagine a female DJ being up there and somebody grab her
grabbed
ass.
Like TK.
But you'd be hitting the pavement so fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in an interesting fulcrum of life right now.
It's a good topic to talk about. I like it, but Netflix, you done fucked up, I think, a little bit with these rules, man. Yeah. You're crazy. Speaking of crazy, World Cup's crazy.
Yes, it is.
The cat was right.
The cat was right. Achilles, the cat from Russia, picked the right bowl yesterday, saying that Russia would beat Saudi Arabia today. And boy, did they. 5-0.
Did they ever? 5-0. So the cat is 1-0. Cat's on a roll.
Ladies and gentlemen, myself and Tony, I found this link to print out a little bracket.
We got our little bracket there.
For soccer. We chose our teams.
Yeah.
You chose
Poland.
And I chose Spain.
Yeah. Poland's probably already out.
Yeah. So we're going to see how far our teams go.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the winner gets.
I don't know. But there is some games tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So keep in mind, the team I chose is not playing, but yours is. Spain will be playing Portugal tomorrow afternoon. Iran is going to play Morocco, and Egypt playing Uruguay. So there's 3 games on the schedule tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. We'll give you guys, just little updates on World Cup since it's such a major event, and it should be a good one.
I believe so. Sorry, I'm just marking down.
Yeah. So anyway, World Cup's happening. More games all the time, and runs I think for 6 weeks. So it's a great fun time for summer. Sit outside, watch the games, have a cold one.
Oh,
don't stare at anybody too long.
Speaking of games, ladies and gentlemen, before we take off.
Diddly diddly dee.
Guess who's 4-0 on that soccer baseball field?
Yeah.
Your boys.
Yep.
It was an interesting game. We were a little short yesterday.
We were short right to the last minute.
We were worried. We were like, do we forfeit or what happens in this?
That would have sucked.
Right? So, again, it was a little close game, the first couple innings.
Yeah.
But then, we got the stamina, ladies and gentlemen, and they just can't keep up with your boys. And girls, because there's girls on our team.
Yes.
But anyway, they were just like Jesse Owens or Usain Bolt. Yep. With that last stretch, no one can handle us. So anyway, we won 18-4.
18-4.
It was our lowest score yet.
Yeah, good game.
Oh, it's actually our lowest score was 11.
11-0.
The first game.
Yeah.
I mean, we did the shutout, so.
The shutout kind of doubles it.
Yeah, it triples
good.
it.
Yeah, it triples it for sure. So we're 4-0 right now.
Yeah.
It's good. It's
Feels
good time. It's good time.
Yeah.
And we play every Wednesday, so we'll be back again.
Yes.
Speaking of back again, we'll be back again tomorrow.
Yes.
Here for Sexy Friday.
Sexy Friday.
So thank you guys for joining us today, and we hope that you come back tomorrow because it's going to be more of the same goodness that we'll offer you. High fives all around, no hugs or stares, but everything else, we're good to go.
Yes.
Back tomorrow, 5 o'clock, guys. We hope y'all come back and see us for the Friday afternoon edition.
Be safe, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Don't stare at your family members
Don't you dare do it.
Any strangers for more than 5 seconds.
Don't you dare.
No lingering
We just
hugs.
did it here. It was too long, but anyway.
Don't do that.
See y'all tomorrow.
Take care.
Peace.
Hey, how's it going, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Talking Trends. If you like the show, please subscribe below.